going on? This is Jim McKenzie, and you're watching Toy Geeks Behind the Counter. And I am behind the counter as well.
Hope the sun going down doesn't screw us up. Right. Where are we at?
We good?
Yep.
Greetings, toy tubers and toy geeks. This is Behind the Counter. Was that? I'm loving it.
Yeah, I think that's...
I don't know. I'm Jack.
I'm Ben.
And I'm George.
And this is Toy Geeks Behind the Counter. And we are the Toy Geeks. And this is the counter. And we're behind it.
And we're continuing our road to Comic-Con, which is tomorrow!
The road to Comic-Con.
Tomorrow!
It's officially tomorrow. And then it's like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then it's like Monday. You're like, beep.
Yeah.
And that's it. And I will be there on Friday with my magical Jack box, full of Toy Geeks pins. That's all that's left. Not really. There's like a whole bag in the back, but it's all I can fit in here. So if you catch me on Friday and you are subscribed to the YouTube channel, like I know you are, and you just click the big red subscribe button because it's so easy to click,
Do they have to
I will give you a pin.
Do they have to catch you outside?
Catch
Or
me
can
outside.
How about that?
How about
can
that?
they
Catch me
catch
outside.
And there's also stickers in there, and follow Instagram, Facebook, blah blah blah. You get a sticker, get a pin, get a handshake, take a picture, and it's we're gonna have fun. And there's a rumor that Chester may be there too. I don't know about it. Just don't talk about it.
Is Kevin going to be there?
Yes.
Kevin's gonna be there
5249.
at booth.
5249. If the
5249.
camera was over here, it would have been perfect. 5249.
Can't even plug his own booth.
Now, before we also get into the rest of the Comic-Con stuff, we also have to remind people our Artist of the Month.
Tanya, Marriott Design.
There you go.
Beautiful work, awesome stuff. Please support this artist. Please buy this stuff. Please follow and like and share, because that's the best thing you can do to all of us and all these artists.
Right.
And then go to Facebook and nominate someone for next month, because we're
That's
getting
right.
near the end of the month.
Yeah, we need more artists.
need
So
more.
just go to our Facebook page and tag the artist that you think is worthy of Artist of the Month, and then we will look at them and decide, and then that's it.
This is what we do.
You don't. You go. Yup. What else do we got?
We have a
5250. Double G
5250.
Toys 3D Retro. Come to our
3D
booth. Buy my pins, please.
and I have toys.
5250 is the booth of Double G Toys and 3D Retro.
That's right.
And that's it. So
And
I'll be
that's
there
it.
Friday. You'll be there Saturday. Friday. The corner. Toys. Moving
All right.
on. We have a guest.
I was going to say last week we had a guest,
Yeah.
Sarah Joe from DKE Toys.
Hey, Joe!
And this week we have the man himself from DKE Toys.
Joe Sarah.
No.
Oh.
The Big D.
The Big D. The Big D.
It's Doug, everybody. Come on in, sir.
Yay.
Some might say the dick of DKE Toys.
The big. He
what's
puts the D in DKE.
Oh, what is going on here?
Should we keep
There's
going?
not enough
He puts the
clown
K
heads
in
to
it
go
too,
around
so
for
that's
this
right.
stuff.
He puts the
K.
dick in DKE.
How you doing? Tell the people who you are, what you do.
Hey, my name's Dove from DKE Toys. Been in the toy business for, I don't know, over 20 years. Started a designer toy distribution company, which I recently sold, and that became Dispersed, which is now up and running, and I work for them part-time. And so what's happened in the past years, I've had to find some other stuff to do. So I used to do 1 or 2 shows a year. Now we do like 3 or 4. And I've always had a passion for the bootleg resin scene. And so I've kind of gone in that direction. And
It's a scene?
We'll
like
get
a
into
whole-
that.
I mean,
Oh, there's a scene.
there's a scene. Yeah. I mean, there's. I don't know.
And for Dove, the more boot, the better.
I'm sorry.
Less leg, more boot.
I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
The resin scene was something that we think was started by the Sucklord back in 2005. He's kind of the godfather of the whole movement.
Respect.
And over the past 10 years have come probably about 50 to 100 other artists who are dabbling in the scene, who cast their own resin, either sculpt their own figures. Some are just conceptual artists and get other people to do the work, and it's really more about the concept. Some people have great conceptual work, other people have great execution. Some people have hit on all levels and have both. Some people transcend, and some people are still working it out. But it's really the most interesting thing to me. Myself personally, I've been collecting and selling licensed toys for decades, and you start to see a pattern in licensed toys after a while, because what happens is there's a licensee, and the licensee gets a license for Marvel, Star Wars, Disney, whatever it is. Which all those three things are all the same company now, which they like own my childhood. It's weird. And then this company would have to produce enough product to pay back their royalty, a percentage of their sales, and they'll just start from scratch. So they're going to make a ship, and they're going to make every ship. They're going to run through every ship, and each ship is made out of metal, and it's 6 inches long, and then they run out of ships, and then they're, what else can we do to make money? It's like, oh, we're going to make the gold version. Oh, now we're going to change the scale. Now you have to start collecting all over again. And just after seeing it, selling it, buying collections from people who've kept their stuff in storage, and just the misery involved with collecting all of this plastic, that's what originally led me to designer toys, because designer toys was about the artist. It was about the person who created it, and people valued the piece for what it looked like, and not because of the property necessarily. And then this kind of brought it all together. So for me, the resin, we call it bootlegs, but they're not really bootlegs, because they're not a toy that is meant to fool moms and kids. It's not someone went to the store, bought a Darth Vader, is casting them in their garage, and is trying to pirate something. We call them bootlegs because
it's more of a parody.
It is. It's artist. It's still an art toy.
So if somebody was to ask you, what are bootleg action figures? What are these parodies? Let's explain first of all what it consists of. It's an artist making an action figure inside of a box.
Some of them are artists. Okay. But there are like these independent guys that make these like bootleg figures as well.
Right.
Now I'm very careful about that kind of stuff that we carry at the shows. Okay. For me, there's obviously scores of people out there who customize their own stuff, who see a movie, want the character from that movie. It doesn't exist, so they take the parts and they make a figure. They cast it, they sell it. There's a lot of that goes on. The stuff that we carry, I'm generally looking for an artist personality, kind of imbued in this piece, and it's something that they created, that either they've elevated it to the next level. Usually they're mashing it up with something, they're making a political statement, or sometimes they're just creating their own universe, and quite often they're borrowing parts and themes from other.
So my question is, you're going to have people that come up to you and argue the point, especially the people that do licensing. They're going to come up to you and go like, you guys are taking a license, you guys are taking Star Wars, and you're selling this figure because people like Star Wars and they relate to Star Wars, and that's why they're going to buy this figure. And you're not paying any licensing fees for it, and you're not going through the hassle of signing agreements and giving the proper percentages to the studios. Granted, yeah, you're only making 50 of them, or 30 of them, or even 20 of them. But these guys still argue like what you're doing is illegal or incorrect, or you should be ashamed of yourself for doing this. What's your argument to them?
Well, what I can tell you is it's never happened.
Okay. That's cool.
Not to your
Okay.
face.
The Sucklord has been making figures since 2005. His Gay Empire now is on its 10th anniversary.
Wow.
The 10th anniversary edition just came out. And these pop culture themes are part of our culture.
Okay.
And artists have a certain leeway to be able to use pop culture themes in their work. Now, I can tell you what I don't do. I make sure that if we're carrying something that it's clearly a parody.
Okay.
Okay, there are no trademark logos.
Okay.
If you look through everything that we sell, like if someone comes to me and says, "Hey, will you sell this?" It says Star Wars on it. It's got the Star Wars logo. There has to be a.
So you do have guidelines on.
It has to be.
If an artist comes up to you and says, "Hey, would you sell my toy?" You actually have a bullet list of things that you will accept, won't accept.
I'm on the forefront of this because I'm at a show and putting
Right.
it out, and because I'm not making this stuff.
Right.
Obviously, you can go put on your site, and you can put on your site whatever you want. Whatever you create, and no one's really going to bother you, even if,
Sometimes.
for the most part.
But I like that you have like a clear set of.
It has to be art.
Right.
We go out of our way to make sure we say that they're signed and numbered.
Right.
Right. The price, obviously, it's not competing or taking away from a licensee
Right.
who's selling a
Right.
$10 figure. These things are $50 and $100.
Yeah.
They're hand cast. They're hand painted. They're works of art. And
So-
when we set up at a show, to me, I'm setting up an art show. And what's interesting is all the people who come and buy from us are the people who work at Funko and Mattel and like all those
The actual
people.
toy guys.
Because
Because it's dream toys that they can't make and that they can't
and
buy.
that's the other thing.
It's their wish list of
Is
things
that-
that they would have liked to have seen.
Is Disney is never going to license the Gay Empire figure,
Whoa.
right? Okay, I'm just saying that a lot of these themes are things that these companies would never do.
And in no way am I saying that like I feel that way about it.
I understand.
I was just playing devil's advocate. It's like
Sure, Ben. We
What?
know your
No,
true
look,
feelings now.
People come up and ask me these things all the time. So I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not giving you legal advice.
But he
okay?
plays with on the show.
I can tell you what I have been advised. Okay, so all of these things that these arguments that people put forth, that you've changed it X percentage, it's a parody, it's political, it's under a certain number of pieces, all of those things are arguments. And the only way to really settle it is someone would have to take you to court, and a judge or a
That's
jury
gonna be
would have
a
to
lot
decide.
of money and time.
And so, honestly, if someone came to me and said, don't do this anymore, I'm not going to fight. I'll just stop.
Right.
I'll just stop, and I'll tell people I'm not going to carry that stuff anymore.
it's called
Well,
a
speaking of-
cease and desist.
Speaking of court, I have an exhibit A, B, C, D, E, F, G here. Do you want to maybe take some stuff out since this is
Sure.
a toy show? after
Overruled.
all?
Yeah, absolutely. So last
No,
week,
are we doing that yet?
No? Okay.
last week Sarah focused on the stuff that were exclusive to Comic-Con, meaning it's premiering at the show.
Right.
Honestly, it takes usually like 2 to 3 shows to sell out most editions. So when you come to the booth, you'll see the new exclusives, and then you'll see what's left from the other shows, and that stuff usually sells out. San Diego Comic-Con's our biggest show of the year, and so I brought some stuff that you may or may not have
what do
seen.
we got?
What do we
got?
got?
Take out.
Just start
Pick
in
one
order
out.
here.
Pick out one or two. Let's get these guys out here.
You can hit me. So Special Ed Toys had a huge hit a few years ago. I see you have one in the store right
Yeah,
there.
We do.
You have the
Here.
Protest Trooper.
Force.
No, the Protest Trooper was huge. We had I think he made an edition of 30 or 40,
I didn't even know this
he
existed.
could have sold 200 if he had them. And so his follow-ups to that were the
The protest trooper. I actually made a diorama of this. It was cosplayers at Comic-Con, and I used him in the foreground there, and it was like Hall E, and it had a bunch of just, I guess you could say bootlegs. It was just a bunch of mixed and matched toys, and that sold like within an hour at DesignerCon. Like, that
and this was a
gone.
real guy. Like there was
Yeah,
a guy.
I know. It's amazing.
And
it comes with
so
a sign too.
For those of you who've
Only
never
a 3D
been,
retro.
for those of you who've never been to Comic-Con, there are a lot of very fundamentally religious people who stand out in front of the show and believe that all of us attending the show are going to hell for watching Star Wars.
What?
I can't
Yeah.
explain
What?
it.
Yeah.
And in doing so,
But Vader is Lord.
this guy decided to protest the protesters,
Yeah.
and then this is the next
Now, does
I
this
did buy
go?
this from you.
Does this go
'Cause
with
I have
last
that.
week's unemployed trooper?
Uh,
Got a job.
Right.
Got a job, Vader.
so this is
Got a
job.
Vader.
this is a Colombian
awesome.
artist, street artist named Crisp, and I collect political art with Star Wars references. So I actually have some of these images on a canvas.
Look at all the logos. in
And
the
so
back.
I asked him if he wanted to make a figure. So when he came to LA, if you look at this is an actual 5-color stencil, hand sprayed, front and back.
Wow. You guys see this? This is
One of my
awesome.
favorite ones of these that I saw, I don't remember who made it, but it's
at the
basically Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru, and it's two skeletons.
And they're
that are-
torched. Yeah, that's good.
And that was beautiful to me. I think that was like my first intro to these kind of toys where I saw that. I also like, there's this, I don't know who made these either, Stranger Things, where it's just a red bike. And there's also another one
Right.
that says Will Byers and there's nothing in there because he's missing.
I like the one that just says the Force and it's an empty package.
Yes.
Love that.
Or the Mist and it's cotton.
I have the
fog.
invisible.
Yeah, the fog. That's it.
Fog,
Yes.
I have the Invisible Man figure like that.
But see, that's genius to me. Now, would those be parody or would those because there's nothing there. There's
So
not art.
I would say about 4 people approached me to do to carry Stranger Things last
Oh,
year,
wow.
and I said no because they all said Stranger Things. They were just doing figures from the show,
Right.
and for me, where the licensee
Let
could be
the company do that.
could be that's not
me.
and they can do that online themselves.
Right.
But now, if you come to me and you say like, I want to do a mashup of Stranger Things,
He's got standards, this guy. Like that.
you get the idea. So
Bart
that's
beautiful.
Fink.
That's
Brat Fink.
Manny Romero.
Iconoclast toys.
Oh, look, babe. See, he's a record player. You see that? You see that?
Okay. No.
The best part of that is the back.
What's the back? Oh.
He's see. This guy knows what he's doing.
See, like this one, I would rather like he went through the trouble of drawing this awesome art.
Right. It's all
Make
included.
that. I want that figure. I don't want this stupid Bart looking thing. I want this
back
one
to
that
this
looks
again.
awesome.
Yes.
You also
Here's
have the
what needs
right
to
as an
happen.
artist to make whatever you want.
So can I make this piece of art and put it out?
Well, if that's based on his painting, I think if
Who
you
cares? He based it off art. Bart, I'm gonna take this and make this.
Yeah, but once he's changed it, that's his. So, but the thing is, like, if you wanted to make that, like, and you called him, he would probably be very happy for you to make it.
I'm gonna do it without him. He didn't
That's
call
why you
Bart.
gotta sculpt first and then draw from the sculpt. So then it's like, oh, it looks the same or better. What do you think of this one?
Janky Toys put that out at Decon.
Kino's Playhouse.
I mean, come on.
There's a sheet in there that has a list of everything with prices.
Love that. The back is the best part of it. Look at this.
Excellent.
Genio.
I love Sir Joe comes with like a printed sheet with everything nice and neat. This
I-
guy comes like, I got a legal pad and a green pen. A green. Who has a green pen?
Conquito.
They don't even make green pens
and
anymore.
Cheerio and Globio.
This was made by Janky Toys. It's an edition of 20, and it's $45.
Everything just ends with an O.
Oh, can I do this now?
Yeah,
Right now?
Yeah.
Whoa. What is this? Oh my god. That
Don't
looks,
get used to the toys coming out of your side, by the way.
this looks like Rika. Is this Rika?
It is.
Oh my
This is
god.
happening.
So that was actually a
You're
print.
out, George.
Print that he made, and the print edition sold out, and this retails $165.
That's
What?
it.
And it's not sold?
But the
out?
crazy thing about it is this is also a silkscreen print.
So the print
because,
sold out.
Because the original print that was just a print sold out. But then what I'm saying is that
you can get the print with the figures.
the packaging is an actual silkscreen as well.
I'm buying this. I'm done.
Well, and
I'm
then
done.
I'll open it.
No.
At first, when you first started carrying Rika stuff a couple years ago, I didn't really like the flat back stuff. But the more I see it, the more I kind of really like it because it makes the figure stay in the right spot.
It makes
displays
so much
Highlights
better.
them just right.
I approached Jim Mafood
Yay!
and I said, "Hey Jim, you want to make some Star Wars figures?" And he did a comic, which episode 1 is right there, and then episode 2 is right there, called Wookiee Hash Pipe, and that's Dose Vapors and Luce Sky Toker.
Who sculpted these, by the way?
George, it's his fault.
Double G all the way.
These are signed and numbered editions of 50. They retail 100 each.
Oh, good.
And the story continues. And so when we do the next one, the third installment will be on the back. So this is a street artist named Free Humanity.
The deal's getting worse all the time.
That's the Land Obama. And so the crazy thing is, if you were to go to the gallery and get a Free Humanity on a canvas, that would cost you $500. But it's on a card back, and it's $100.
And it's an actual.
It's actual silk screen. That is a 4-color silk screen. And if you go to our Flickr, you will see lots of photos of him in his mask, covering his identity, but actually creating these like assembly line style.
Ben, this is not what you think it is. This is just an alien.
The TT. The TT, everyone.
But it's Alien V. Is that Alien 5, the movie?
What?
Versus Predator.
Oh, versus Predator.
So the original edition of this toy was nominated for a DTA award, and trying to come up with a second edition, Special Ed decided to do the zombie version of Michael and the ghost version of E.T., and they go together.
Nice.
And it's really the toy that when I have it on the corner of the booth at Comic-Con, it's the one that gets the most attention just from people in general, because people walk by and they go, "Hey, cool, Michael," and they're like, "Alien versus Predator," and then there's two reactions. Some people are like, "Oh, that's amazing," and then other people, it like just punches them in the gut so hard they're like, "Oh,
ooh, this is mine."
It's like Christmas over here.
Now, Papa George,
You want to show?
the art doesn't match the toy.
So this is from Topps Toy.
It's like it's a picture of a different toy and a toy of a different toy.
There seems to be a Star Wars heavy theme. Is that because you're more into Star Wars? Or is that just something that happens where, because Star Wars is such a huge pop culture thing, a lot of these artists are influenced by it?
Is it a generational thing?
Star Wars does cross, lots of generations because the movies have come out.
But I mean,
in
the
different
people that are
generations.
making these toys are our age, and
Mostly.
Like, where's all the Harry Potter references? Are those guys too young?
right.
Where's
That's
all
what
the
I'm
Back to the
saying.
Future
Like,
toys?
Where's Lord of the Rings?
up,
Where's
Okay, but a lot of this stuff is, when you took Jim's character and you turned him into like a vintage Kenner toy, right? And like this was kind of like George's interpretation of Jim's art here. This is recalling like your childhood. Like I got one of those figures back in 1978 or 79, and so a lot of these pop culture references are drawing on memories that you already have. What can you do with Harry Potter? Like, you remember the Star Wars line lasted from 77 till 1985, and they think that they sold about 750 million figures. Okay, now so compare that to, the action figure line that came out for one Christmas season. Like Last Action Hero or Dukes of Hazzard or
Right.
even Tron. Those. When they made figures for those movies, they'd come out, they'd either do well, maybe they'd make a few more, go to a second series. If it didn't perform well, like it was done, and they went on to like, now we're making Clash of the Titans figures. And then when you get to the 90s, that's when everything just went to hell, because now there's not even toys for movies that come out anymore, because it has to be a proven entity before the companies will even put money into it.
Right.
Think of the 90s, like The Shadow, Waterworld, Last Action Hero. I can name probably a dozen more of these just completely failed movies, and these companies have to choose by looking at a script and a few drawings to make the toy before even the film is finished, in order to get them in the stores in time.
And as far as artists go, I mean, like you said, there's so many of those toys. I'm pretty sure everyone out there has a bin of Star Wars toys laying around, like old stuff and parts of Star Wars toys. Because I know already, I have 3 Darth Vader action figures. I can do whatever I want with. It's like, and you can rip off a head and make a thing. There's so many of them and so many different versions.
It's true, and
Yeah.
I think, Star Wars is a phenomenon. When Jenke said, "You want to carry, Paquito's Playhouse out with Paquito and Paterio," I was like, "Hell yeah, that's amazing, right?" But there's just not that many Pee Wee Herman collectors that have every Pee Wee Herman toy and then want to add this one to their collection.
Right.
So the thing about Star Wars toys is, there are a lot of collectors who have all their vintage toys, And then they maybe started collecting the Power of the Force line in the 90s, and who knows when they gave up. But they just got burnt. You know, it's like how much plastic could they fill their homes with? But then they see something like this and they're like, wow. I mean, I know people who have stopped collecting action figures completely, but they still buy this kind of stuff. It's a very...
It's also not it's not the same Darth Vader 6 times. Like, you're not buying the same exact... It's like, oh, it's a new take. It's finally something new that looks different than the 15 Vaders I already have in my collection because they've re-released it 65 times.
And then you just keep getting it. It's like Vader like this, Vader like that.
Right.
And then the other thing is the technology is changing, so the Vaders keep getting better and better.
Yeah.
And the ones that we had like in the 90s were all buff and like
Even
terrible
the
looking.
Lukes with the chest and the Leias that look like
Exactly.
Broomhildas.
So what about, okay, so there's definitely a collector base for these types of toys. And DKE is one of the central hubs to get these, and I'm sure there's other places you can get some too, but what are people supposed to be looking for when they buy these things as to like what
Signatures,
makes
numbers,
a
numbered
bootleg
editions.
like in your opinion, a good figure, a bad figure, something you should buy, something you should stay away from? You know,
Like
what?
if I was to start collecting, hey man, I want to start buying these. What do you recommend? Like, hey, make sure they're signed. Make sure.
I mean,
what do we got?
It's art, so you have to buy what you like. If you look at it, if you look at Alien versus Predator, and you go, "Ha, that's amazing!" Like, this makes me happy. Imagine your reaction to the Reservoir Troopers.
Yeah.
You're like, "Oh my god! Like, I have to get this,"
Right.
because it like combines two things you like, and it's like the sum of the parts are greater than the individual, and it works for you.
So it's buy what you like. Now, how about making them? What if somebody out there wants to start making them? Is it just anyone can make it and that's it?
I think so. Definitely. If you want some tips, most of these artists are willing to share. You can contact them, email them. They're usually willing to help out. If you email me, I can give you some places that actually make the cards. We sell the blisters, and there are
So it's all ready to go.
there are so many. Well, the hard part is casting the resin,
Right.
sculpting, casting, or mashing up whatever you want to do, and then actual painting. So that takes some skill. There's plenty of tutorials online
Cool.
All right.
how to
Well,
do that. So
Thank
That's,
you for bringing all these.
Pretty much all the time we have. Will you take a little time and sign our sketchbook, please?
sure.
Do a little drawing, a little
Do a
doodle,
little-
do a little dance.
If it makes you happy, I'll be happy to put something
so-
embarrassing in there.
Yeah, anything you want.
Sure.
So you guys, tell us what you think. Are these art? Are these a blunder on licensing? Are these amazing? How many do you have? What's your favorite? That's what are your opinions
Who's
on
your
it?
favorite bootlegger?
Who's your favorite bootlegger?
It's going to be interesting walking around Comic-Con tomorrow and seeing how many of these are taking over the toy scene.
Yeah, and remember, and we're going to be probably on Instagram and Twitter and everywhere, on Facebook and videos and all over the place. So just follow everywhere and keep up. Other
And
than
if you're
that,
an artist with skills to draw like this, but then only make this kind of thing,
so don't do that.
hit
Go
up
see-
guys like me who are sculptors and
Yeah.
want to do these cool things.
Double G.
Sculpt and then draw, like I do.
5250.
5250.
5250.
5250.
And I'm walking around somewhere. I'm walking around. Look for the black
And
shirt
you
with the pants
are
in the box.
5045 and 5250.
All right. And that's it, people. Hope you like the show. Everything's awesome. See you guys next week.
If
or
we,
maybe-
if we survive
if we
Comic-Con.
survive. All right. This is it. Toy Geeks. Signing out.
Nice one.